I just want to say I'm worried. I'm worried about my own future. What the heck I'm gonna do? Cost of living is so high, and it's like I have family that could totally help me and stuff like that. But the problem is they don't. It, I'm delusional boomer. That's what I deal. I mean, the delusional boomer thinks that everything is great. Thinks that you just get a job and everything works out, and then you can go buy a house and blah 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 and all this kind of shit. But it's not. We're not living in the same world anymore, man. And they'll not only will they not really help you, but they'll bitch you out, chew you out, make you feel bad, insult you. You're just trying to deal with, real problems the way the world really is. But they won't acknowledge what the way the world really is. They like to pretend like it's still 1975 or some shit, Like it's, still the, great country of the 1960s or something, 19, I mean, they think it's still 1940s, 1950s or 1960s or 70s, 80s, the way they act, and it's just like, I really don't see how I'm going to make it personally. I mean, other people, look, I see a massive portion of the population just living fucking hand to mouth. It's the vast majority of the population is, within like a couple hundred is within like $100 or a couple $100 of becoming homeless, basically. Like the vast majority of the population is very close. Like one paycheck away, or one mechanical failure, just like inches away from homelessness. That's the majority of the population of the country. It's bad. It's very, very bad. The ones who are making it, so many people are in such terrible situations, really. Just being real, man. The thing is that people won't acknowledge how bad things are. The older generations, the ones that have all the financial resources and the influence to be able to do anything about it, are all pretending like everything is fine. A bunch of homeless people, they just want to sweep them under the carpet, I mean, there's so much cruelty in this place, I just listened to this guy talk about how in South Dakota, which is where my dad lives, or he's talking about, there was a church that wanted to let homeless people in when it was like 6 degrees or lower. It's like they just wanted to give them a warm place to sleep and a hot meal or whatever, so they wouldn't freeze to death. And the government steps in to block them, not wanting to let the church help the homeless. I've seen people getting arrested for giving sandwiches to the homeless, And what are they supposed to do when there's nowhere to go, you know? Really, what are you supposed to do when there's just nowhere to go? Nowhere you're allowed to go, nowhere you're allowed to park your car or sleep, you know? If you don't have a car, nowhere you're allowed to set up a tent or whatever, you know? It's just screwed up, man. It's super. It's getting so bad. And the thing is, man, they're gonna do this to everybody, man. You people that have a house and stuff like that have some land, how much longer are you gonna be able to afford that? How long are you gonna afford that house or that land if, you know, the government or whatever decides to stop sending you your social security check? What then, you know? If they steal your pension, you know? Or they raise the property taxes so high that you can't afford to pay them anymore, you know? Then what? Many people are in very serious situations here, you know? But the people who have the influence and the resources to be able to help are just turning a blind eye and lecturing people and calling people lazy and just want to push them aside. This type of attitude and this sort of cruel, heartless behavior is just, I mean, we're all going to be screwed. Everybody but the multi-billionaires, you know, trillionaires and stuff, making money off the backs of the poor people that they rob blind. I saw a video a while back. There was this woman, the airline pilot, and she was paying like $2,000 a month to live in a hostel with like 20 people. We're sharing this hostel. 20 people. I don't know if you can hear me anymore. 20 people paying $2,000 a month to share one apartment, basically. Like, it could really get that bad everywhere, man. It's heading in that direction. What are we gonna do? I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. How I'm gonna manage to stay afloat here. I don't know how much longer I even have before I end up out on the street myself. I don't know. It stresses me out to no end. And just knowing that I live in a time and a society where there's so much heartlessness and so much cruelty, even my own family, with complete lack of understanding of the situation that we're in. So drastic, so, you know, that, I mean, many people are out there, have parents with a nice house and stuff like that, but their parents won't even let them stay there. You know? So your kids are just gonna freeze to death, or, you know, die on the street or something, because you're so cruel. You don't even care enough about your own family to allow them to have a place to sleep. And if they try to talk to you about the situation they're in, how screwed up it is, you just lecture them, cuss them out, yell at them, call them worthless and lazy, call them names, you know? I don't know what to do. Things just seem so screwed up here, man. This whole money game, man, is so fucking fucked up. It's so rigged. So fucking rigged against you. We got a society, we got a nation of haves and have-nots. A nation of people that have homes, that have a good living, while the majority of people are probably soon to become homeless, basically. I just don't understand how anyone, these older generations, can sit there and pretend like that's the way it's supposed to be. So many people are living their lives just existing to work to barely afford basic shelter and food. Most people have little to no savings. They're living paycheck to paycheck. I don't know what to do personally. I don't know what the hell to do. What's really screwed up is it seems like the society is so evil, though. I mean, maybe a lot of people don't realize this shit, but you know that the truth of the matter is that it would be cheaper to house the homeless than it is to have them out there on the street. You know? It really is. People out on the street, you know, they get sick, they need medical help, they need, you know. The economy falls apart because people who don't have money can't afford to buy shit, you know, or pay for services. Oh my god. Things are so fucking screwed up, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do personally. I'm really worried. I've managed to get by. Managed to get by for the last year and a half doing delivery jobs. But that's getting so bad that the pay is just getting worse and worse. The offers are getting worse and worse. To the point where some days I swear I don't even know if make enough to cover my gas. Most of the offers are just so terrible that I'm having to turn down like 90% or more than 90% of the offers because they're trash. They're not, they wouldn't even cover my gas. I really don't understand how, like, who's going out and actually making these deliveries for that little money. Who would do that? I mean, seriously, would you drive like a 60-mile round trip to drop off 3 orders somewhere? You know, it's going to take you like a couple hours or something just to make like $12, and you're going to go through a bunch of gas. You know, like, would you do that? No. Yeah. Who would? How's the stuff even getting delivered? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. This is insane, man. I don't know. My pay's just gotten so much worse especially over this last 6 months. It's just been getting worse and worse and worse. It's almost so bad that it's like I don't know how the heck I've managed to even survive to have a place to live. I would have been homeless months ago, many months ago, probably. Numerous times when my dad has bailed me out, and he tried to help out this month, send me some money earlier. The amount of bills that I've been hit with and expenses for gas and so on and so forth. And I'll be honest, I've blown money on alcohol a number of times, but I've made like $800 or something this month. I've only got about 150 of my own money to fucking show for it, though, out of that. The rest of it, paid for my tires and storage facility and electric bill and gas for my car and et cetera, plus obviously stupidly, buying alcohol. Admit to that, but gasoline costs money, I need to take the damn car to a mechanic because whoever designed the thing decided that they would bury the spark plugs in a place where you can't even get to them at all. So I'm gonna have to hire a mechanic just to change a fucking spark plug because it's in such a pain in the ass location that I can't get to it. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do here, man. I've only got about half the money that I need to pay my bills at this point to cover me through next month. To cover all the fucking bills, gonna hit me next month. I've maybe got like almost enough to pay my rent, but car insurance is gonna hit me anytime if it hasn't already. And then $100 and something a month power bill, and make a payment towards my tires, and storage fees $120 a month, you know. Yeah, aside from my rent, there's like another $400 or more that I have to blow on these other bills. That I have to keep putting gas in the car to be able to go out and make deliveries. If they're gonna send me on all the, want to send me all these fucking orders to deliver someplace that where the person's house is like fucking 30, 40, 50 mile round trip or something. It's ridiculous, man. Going out some days barely covering my gas money, making about maybe 10, 15 bucks worth of profit, and all the rest of the money just what I'm gonna have to put back in the gas tank. It's ridiculous. I just don't know what to do at this point, you know. All this stuff in my storage facility, in my room, my car, that should be worth money. But I find it near impossible to get anything sold. The only way I ever get anything sold is if I sell it for pennies on the dollar, basically. Take something to a pawn shop, sell it for like 1/10 of what it's worth or something. Or maybe if I'm lucky, I sell it for just enough to get my money back that I spent on it or whatever. Maybe if I'm lucky. Just so fucking aggravating, man. I don't think people comprehend how bad things are in this country and how much worse they're likely to get here soon, you know? I mean, you got a guy in office now that talks about the homeless and the poor like they're a fucking disease that needs to be eradicated or something. And living in a time where the dollar is collapsing, the economy is fucking trashed. Millions of fucking homeless people. I know they won't tell you that. They lie and say it's 700,000, but horse shit, dude. People are out there freezing their asses off, dying on the fucking street. Our government doesn't seem to give a damn. And the people that are supposed to be helping, that are basically conning fucking billions of dollars out of the government, are just a bunch of con artists and thieves, crooks. For the most part. Take a bunch of money to supposedly to help the homeless and just buy themselves a big house with a swimming pool and a sports car or something. I mean, that's what we got here, man. We gotta, and I mean, more people need to get worked up about what's going on in this country because it's gonna affect everybody. I mean, you need to know about this shit and you need to realize it, take it seriously because it's going to affect you too, not just the homeless people. Like, you're going to be fucking homeless at some point if this is allowed to go on like this, you know? It's like I've heard Max Egan said, man, the way of Gaza is the way of the world, man. That's the sort of situation they're setting up for us, basically. It's going to be a country with a bunch of empty houses and empty apartment buildings that no one can afford to live in. With a bunch of homeless people on the street or getting rounded up and taken to FEMA camps or something. If people don't do something, they won't speak out about it. Some help isn't, people won't recognize how bad the situation is until it comes and bites them in the ass. I mean, the whole boomer generation spreading this shit, telling us, oh, just get a job, just get a job, just get a job. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's literally impossible at this point. Like, and it's just going to get worse and worse, man. We're living in a time, I mean, for one thing, we're living in the age of robots and AI. You think that robot isn't going to, I mean, most of the jobs in existence right now can be done by a robot. And the robot is going to be cheaper than paying your wages, And it don't matter who you are. It don't matter if you're a surgeon or an airline pilot, a truck driver, an actor, news broadcaster, doesn't matter. Author, musician, AI is going to be able to do your job better than you. Like, AI is going to be able to freaking make, they could make a brand new Indiana Jones movie with a young Harrison Ford in it, you know. Could make a 100 new fucking Elvis Presley albums, and then have a holographic Elvis fucking singing them live on a stage, Like, it's just. I'm just saying, man, this whole get a job shit it's just not gonna even be an option. Not too much longer. Like, there's no way. Like, you're just not gonna. It's not a. There's already hardly anyone hiring. Everyone acts like they're hiring, but they're not really. People take your application and throw it in the garbage along with everybody else's application, basically. Maybe keep a handful of the best ones around to, maybe. I mean, seriously, man, there's people with fucking multiple college degrees, people with master's degrees, like pumping gas, waiting tables, working at a pizza place or something, Because you just. We're getting robbed blind on such a fucking huge level that it's just gonna make it impossible as it gets worse, which it certainly looks like it's going to. It's just gonna become impossible for most people to live. If something's not done to improve the situation, then we're talking mass genocide here, man. We're talking, yeah, mass genocide. We're talking Georgia Guidestones having their way, The Western world, man, we're being led by genocidal maniacs, basically. Who don't even have the common decency to just fly gas drones over and gas us to death or drop a bomb on our head. Now they want to make us suffer. They want us to die slowly while they drain every last penny out of us. what the hell I'm gonna do personally, man. Well, I mean, the thing is, right? Like, as it stands right now, I'm about a week away from. I have to pay my rent and bills and all this kind of shit. A little bit more. I have a little bit longer than that to pay the other bills. I know the storage facility is probably gonna charge me by like the 5th or something, or they keep changing the time, you know. Keep taking money sooner and sooner. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. They're creating conditions where it's going to be nearly impossible to keep yourself from becoming homeless. And at the same time, creating a condition where homelessness is criminalized. A complete lack of human decency and compassion, basically, as far as the poor and the homeless go. And we're basically being driven into the poorhouse, up shit creek without a paddle, basically. And it's we're being robbed blind, and a lot of it is the government that's doing this to us, man. Founding fathers fought a war over 3% tax, basically, and the types of shit that's going on. The shit that's going on now, man. I mean, openly there's almost over a third tax, but realistically the taxes are more like 50% or more than 50%, I would say, maybe 75 or 80%. Everything you buy at the store is taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed again. Every time one thing transfers one hand to another, there's more taxes on it. So it's just like, so you end up paying, $50 for something that costs 50 cents to make or something, basically. You buy a can of soup, the farmer is getting taxed on his land, getting taxed for the can, taxed for the tomato, taxed for the onion, taxed for the bean, taxed for the every state line that the truck crosses that's delivering it, taxed for the sticker, taxed for on and on and on. So a can of soup that might have only been like a couple pennies to make ends up costing you $5 or something, Like that's where we're at here. And we're coming up on a situation where in the near future, most jobs, human labor is just going to be obsolete, dude. There's no. It just seems like a hopeless situation, man. And I don't know what to do. I've been trying to keep it together, man. I just don't know how much longer I can do that. What I'm gonna do. I'll be honest, I'm kind of scared now, It feels hopeless. The point I'm trying to get across here, though, is it's going to be really, times are be bad for a lot of people, for most people. It's already bad, man. As it stands today, man. You got the boomers basically acting like this is the way things are supposed to be. Where a majority of people are out there busting their ass 8, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week, just to barely make the rent. Got nothing to show for it, no savings. No way they're ever going to be able to afford a home. And the rent just keeps going up. The pay just keeps getting lower, buying less and less. A dollar doesn't buy a nickel's worth nowadays. You realize that when I was born, like the year I was born, you could probably walk into a restaurant and, like, you could walk into McDonald's and order a, you know, good size, good size cheeseburger, fries and a Coke or something. A whole meal, basically, for like 25 cents or 50 cents or something. I'm not even that old, man. I used to buy packs of Marb Reds and Camel 99s for like $1, $1.25. It's like $12 to $15 or some shit now. Let's play it, right? At least 10. It's just ridiculous, man. It costs more for a single pack of cigarettes now than it used to cost to buy an entire carton. And the cost of rent is worse than that, man. You used to be able to rent a 2-bedroom house around here for $50 a month. 50 to 100 depending on the quality. 100 would get you something that's like brand spanking new, like really nice. 50 would get you something that was like, a little older. Yeah, a little older, a little more run down. But it's crazy. The problem is that so few people are even noticing this shit or thinking about it or talking about it. And it's getting to where it's going to be too late. We're just going to be doomed. No hope, no way. Because the people that have all the resources that could have done something, could have said something, are just kicking back, pretending like everything is fine. They offer us lectures instead of help. Pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, get a job, But I mean, it's not just the younger generation, the older generation are getting screwed too, man. It's like a pretty good sized portion of the homeless population are like in their 60s and 70s and stuff. There's military veterans that are homeless. 75-year-old women sleeping on the fucking sidewalk next to their car because the city won't let them sleep in their car. People fucking freezing to death on the fucking street because the government won't let the churches let them in the fucking cold. Like, one of the places I would park, there's this big, huge parking lot in this big church in the place that used to be a Walmart before they put in the super Walmart. There's like a little Caesars and Pizza Hut and other things there, but mostly it's this huge church in the old Walmart building. I'm gonna park over there and I see these signs on homeless people's cars. threatening to tow them. The other churches, they got like locked, gates that they lock when church isn't in, because they don't want homeless people to be able to have a place to park their car to sleep. It's so freaking bad, dude. It's ridiculous. It's like most places you go, it's like you got people coming in, you can't park here, you can't park here. I don't know what to do, man. I'm just really not sure what to do at all. It stresses me out. Next month's my birthday. I turn 41 years old. And I don't know if I'm going to be homeless on my birthday. Trying to find some place where I can get away with sleeping in my car. I'm going to drive miles across town every time I have to take a shit to try and find a public restroom I can use. If I make any money in a situation like that. I mean, I'm not likely to even have enough room left in my car with all the stuff that I'd, be packing in my car if I ended up living in it. There would probably hardly be enough room for me to deliver huge grocery orders or anything. I don't know what to do, man. I guess I should have made myself go out and try to work today. It's just, again, though, like, I can't help but wonder, like, what should I be doing right now? What should I be doing right now? Should I go out and try to work to try to make a few bucks in hopes that I could pay my bills? Or should I just be packing and hauling stuff to storage? Or should I be calling around trying to find somewhere, to see if there's any way to get rental assistance? Should I be going to a temp agency trying to find work there that would hopefully, pay me more than what I'm making lately trying to do deliveries? It's hard when you got a fucking drinking problem to just go back out in the world, try to work, try to earn a living. Especially when you're just getting screwed over, you're getting robbed blind, basically. You're trying to put in time, trying to put in work to try to make a living, and just getting screwed over. It hurts, and it just makes you want to fucking drink. Just the stress and